Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. The military-industrial complex is trying to make its way everywhere. We've talked about this. They've been, as Chris Hedges calls it, there's been a 4 decades-long corporate coup. They have taken over every institution from all the corporations have, and one of the places they've gotten to is college campuses. Remember when college campuses in the 60s and 70s were hotbeds of, activism and anti-war protests? Here's what's happening now. Texas University to build a $130 million complex to test Army's combat tech. On campus. Boy, that'll really sow dissent. And these kids being enrolling to be freshmen this fall in 2019, they were born after 9/11. We've been at war for, when they go to college, we will have been at war for 18 years. There's people joining the Army, the military, 18-year-olds, who were born after 9/11. We're still fighting the global war on terror. And stuff like this shows you this is something that this kind of stuff caused huge protests. I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin. My father was a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And I remember my mom telling me a story. There was protests on that campus like before I was born and when I was a little kid. She saw cops nightsticking because they were all kinds of crazy stuff. They blew up the math building because it was doing research for the Vietnam War. I don't advocate for that at all, and I always use this as an example because they thought the building was going to be empty. It was late at night. They blew it up, and there was a grad student in there who had a wife and a young kid, and he was killed. So that's why I'm all for, I want nonviolent protests. But I'm just letting you know that was the attitude back then. Anything having war research. Now it's just out in the open. The university is like right on. Texas A&M University System Rellis campus in Bryan will be the new home to Accelerator Space Laboratories and offices for the 4-star Command. The building will cost Texas A&M System $50 million according to its release. It will also invest $30 million in infrastructure improvements and a new facility. This is according to the Military Times. The remaining $50 million was appropriated by the Texas legislature and will go forward on outdoor testing area at Rellis. The campus held a robotic combat vehicle prototyping competition in May. Boy, if you're a fan of the Terminator movies like I am, that's a little terrifying. Involving 6 industry teams with a total of 8 vehicles. The event came in anticipation of Army white papers and requests for prototype proposals for ground vehicle robots. I guess I played intramural flag football and intramural basketball when I was in college. I wasn't involved in warmongering robot fights. Senator John Mike Murray, head of the Army Futures Command. So Futures Command is like, how do we keep war going and how do we indoctrinate the youth into thinking that war is awesome? Well, we do stuff like this. We make the NFL the war league. We have the national anthem and salute the soldiers at every sporting event. I'm all for saluting soldiers and honoring what they do, but why can't we one game we honor a soldier and one game we honor a nurse and then a teacher and then somebody that runs a non-for-profit that feeds the homeless and why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we honoring firefight? Why just the soldiers? Some woman that runs a soup kitchen, can she be honored at a ball game? One of the Doctors Without Borders people, can we honor them at a ball game? Too busy having the jets fly by? Got it. The command would develop, test, and evaluate technology from industry and universities around the country at the facility. So this is happening all over the university. So I just did a quick check, right? I just put in a search engine, college tuition at Texas A&M. This is what came up. In-state 11 grand, out-of-state 31. This is tuition and fees, and I believe this includes housing. Now you might find online, Graham, it's a little more or less than this. Okay, but this is what Texas A&M. If you go, there's websites that you can plug in tuition, what kind of degree you're trying to get, a 4-year, all this other stuff. But let's just say go roughly, it's 11 grand a year. I have access to a calculator. So a 4-year degree is going to cost you $44,144, right? $44,000, right? So that's one 4-year degree. So let's divide the cost of one 4-year degree. Now again, different diplomas, degrees might cost more or less, whatever, but let's just, right? That's in-state. 44,000 divided, 130 million divided by 44,000, 2,900, almost 2,944, almost 2,945 people could have got a 4-year degree for that $130 million. How are you going to pay for student debt forgiveness, Bernie? How are you going to pay for free college tuition? It's pie in the sky. Well, it is pie in the sky when we spend all of our money on war, on a never-ending war cycle. One article in the Military Times and a calculator on my goddamn iPhone told you that they just blew the tuition for 2,900 kids. Almost 3,000 kids in the state of Texas could have had their college paid for. I bet you there's more than 3,000 kids in the state of Texas graduating from high school, that just graduated from high school, just right now. We just had it's August, right? We just had graduations, May, June, whatever. I bet you, just in the state of Texas. What's it like nationwide? 83% of Americans say they can't afford college. That was from a poll from a couple years ago. 83%. What's the percentage in Texas? Almost 3,000 kids could have got a 4-year degree from Texas A&M. Pretty good university. Or UT. Those are all good schools. Could have got a Texas A&M university. And what could they be studying there? It's an agriculture school. It's an engineering school. Wow, maybe they could be studying how to reverse climate change. How can we help agriculture, since it's an agriculture school, how can we help save the planet that way? Maybe that's what we should be teaching our kids. Now, we want to spend $130 million so they can have robot war game fights so that when their kids are 18, we will have been at war for 40 years instead of just 18 or 19 years. Isn't that going to be great? If you're in your mid-30s or younger, we have been at war for half of your life or longer. That's how many kids could have gone to college with that money. Rachel Maddow going to bitch about this for 3 years? She going to talk about this for 3 years? Is Joyanne Reed going to talk about this for 3 years? Is that moron Sean Hannity with the most punchable face on TV going to talk about this? No, they're not. They're going to say Bernie's pie in the sky. Remember when Hillary Clinton said, oh, it's pie in the sky. Those are ponies. Yeah, because you profit from war. 20 countries donated to the Clinton Foundation in 2008 when she became Secretary of State in 2009. All 20 of those countries got defense contracts. Isn't that awesome? Good thing these kids, and these kids that are not going to get a college tuition that could desperately need one. Maybe there's any inner city kids. Maybe there's low income families. There's working class families. The kids got the grades to go to college, but they don't have the money because the war machine took all their goddamn money. This is just one college with one war grant in one state could pay for this many kids to go to school. I bet you I could find 2 or 3 high schools in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that would come up that have this many kids that graduated that could go to college that aren't going to go. I bet you could find some kids out, poor farm kids out in Texas who don't have this, who wish they could go to Texas, go to college, and they're like, I can't afford to go to college. You can't afford to go to college because the war machine just took your money away. The war machine just took, if you're a parent in Texas, you got any kids in Texas, or you're a teenager or a high school kid or in your early 20s, whatever, and you can't afford to go to college, thank these guys. Thank the war machine They just took your college tuition. The war machine just took your college tuition. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Thanks for supporting what I do, because they're not going to talk about this in the corporate media. They're going to lie to you and say we need war and Russia's the bad guy and we need more nukes. And we just sold a bunch of weapons to South Korea because North Korea, so we're going to keep antagonizing North Korea and Iran and Russia and hope that there's more escalations. We're going to stack up troops along the border in the NATO. We're going to threaten Germany, to pay for more of its, keep the war machine going so your kids can't go to college. Support the show. I need your help because I don't get the corporate media. Boeing doesn't buy ad time with me. Raytheon isn't cutting me a check right now. And I don't know that they ever will. And you know what? If they did, I would gladly cash it and then, buy solar panels or something like that. So support what I do. Go to rockfin.com, R-O-K-F-I-N. The link is in the show notes. rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, patreon.com/Graham Elwood. Like, subscribe, share these videos. Watching the ads all the way through. When you click skip ad, I do not get paid. And please, come see us on the road, the Progressive Comedy Tour. Ron Placone and I, we're both on the Jimmy Dore Show a lot. Ron has his own show. We're doing shows in the Midwest, September 4th through the 8th. We are going to Omaha, Sioux Falls, Madison, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, and Iowa City. And of course, we are doing Australia, November 14th, Melbourne, the 15th, Adelaide, the 17th, Sydney, and the 22nd, we are in Perth. And I'm speaking at the Minds event. I'm on a panel. It's an all-day event. Pretty cool in Pittman, New Jersey. If you buy a ticket and use coupon code Graham Elwood, 2 things happen. 1, you save 10%. 2, I get a little residual income, so it's a way to support what I'm doing and come hear some cool panels. All of those links to all of those shows are at grahamelwood.com, which is in the show notes. Thanks for watching.